Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. Sorry for not putting one out yesterday, I just got very busy, but that's what I'm here for today. And a bunch of stuff to talk about once again. Let's get started with BitTorrent's creator vocally distancing himself from Tron. And let's read this article together and then I'll explain why I think this is significant. Bram Cohen, the visionary computer programmer who created peer-to-peer file sharing protocol BitTorrent and the company of the same name, is no longer involved with the project following its sale to Tron and subsequent launch of a crypto token. He wants to make sure that you know that. Scroll through Cohen's Twitter feed and you'll find a regular diet of tweets like this one from Monday night. And here his tweet says, "I'm no longer in any way affiliated with BitTorrent and have never been affiliated with Tron or Justin Sun." Since the beginning of January, Cohen has published 7 tweets like this one, disclaiming any connection to Tron or its controversial decision to hold a BitTorrent ICO. However, despite his best efforts, it doesn't seem that the message is getting through. As you can see here, someone responded, "Wait, what? Explain?" And he said, I stopped being full-time at BitTorrent in summer 2017 and my involvement ended when it sold to Tron last year. See how telling that timing is? His involvement with Tron with BitTorrent ended at the moment it was sold. But let's just continue reading for a while. It's not that Cohen is an outright crypto critic. As CCN reported, he is himself launching a cryptocurrency. Called Chia, the project aims to be a blockchain based on proofs of space and time to make a cryptocurrency that is less wasteful, more decentralized, and more secure. However, continually being tagged in posts about Tron and BitTorrent must be frustrating, particularly considering how controversial the Justin Sun-led project remains, even within cryptocurrency circles. Viewed by critics as little more than a non-stop hype train, the project has scored a laundry list of own goals ranging from plagiarism scandals to partnerships that seem to be less than advertised. This is an understatement. These partnerships were outright lies. They were not just less than advertised. When Justin Sun announced that they had a major partnership coming up and then it turns out that that partnership was them purchasing a product from a major company, that is not something being less than advertised. That is outright lying. But anyway, let's continue. Here you will see some more context for why this is relevant, because just the other day an ex-employee pretty much attacked Tron. Tron's acquisition of BitTorrent could help the project mature beyond its roots into one of crypto's most high-profile fake-it-till-you-make-it success stories, to quote Messari CEO Ryan Serkis. However, according to one former BitTorrent employee who left sometime after the company's acquisition, the project is destined to be a colossal failure. And we already read this together the other day in a more complex article, but essentially what he is saying here is that he was very unhappy with the way Justin Sun had dealt with a few situations here. He had been shot down by Justin Sun after confronting him with some of the issues surrounding Tron. Justin Sun has been evading, has essentially told him that they decided to lie about the situation. And then further that he thinks that Tron, at least in the way that they were planning to do it when he was still working there, would not be able to handle BitTorrent. But okay, why is this so interesting? Now, let's just get this one thing out of the way first. He could just be annoyed that people keep assuming he is involved. But you're not going to be tweeting 7 times in 22 days. For that. You're just going to tweet once and you're going to make it your pinned tweet. Or you're going to write in your Twitter bio that you're not associated anymore. He is consistently pushing back against any affiliation with Tron and with modern BitTorrent. And this is reflective of a larger thing we're seeing. When Tron bought BitTorrent, a lot of staff left. They weren't kicked out. They left. And then we have that one former employee who did remain on, who then left because he couldn't trust Justin Sun and because he thought that the technology was being misrepresented. And now you have the former CEO and creator of BitTorrent so actively and repeatedly distancing himself. And you have him leaving the day the sale went through. There is something major going on in the background here, and I think I understand some of it, because what Tron is doing to BitTorrent goes against everything that BitTorrent stood for. What Tron is doing to BitTorrent is essentially completely ruining the system creating... You have to understand what BitTorrent stood for. BitTorrent was a peer-to-peer decentralized file-sharing network. That was very much the first major instance of something being decentralized on the internet like this. It created a freedom and equality for file sharing that we had never seen before and that we have not seen since. And it was a trust-based system where you were trusting the other people on the network to be good actors. You are trusting the other people on the network to provide files for you and not just to take your files and then run. You are trusting them to not share viruses with you. It was just a very trust-based, equal, diverse, decentralized system. And what BitTorrent is doing to it now is they are monetizing it in a way that creates different classes within it, where you will now be able to pay for higher internet speeds, for higher download speeds. That goes against everything that BitTorrent stood for. And so it makes perfect sense that people who were working on BitTorrent, especially its former creator, who had an ideal image, they wanted to create something great, something where everyone is equal, something decentralized, something where you can't pay to get better access. And now Tron is taking over and is just, excuse my language, shitting all over what it stood for. And I think that is ultimately what is happening here, with the added problem of nobody trusting Tron or Justin Sun. And you have to keep in mind, these are people who were in negotiations with Tron and with Justin Sun, who ultimately sold the company to them, and who worked under him, who have to distance themselves from him, who one of them even outright said he left partially because Justin Sun was not trustworthy. And all of this, in my opinion, is reflective of Tron as a whole. If all of these people are so negative towards Tron and Justin Sun, are distancing themselves, are openly speaking up against them, and these are people who have worked with them, who have seen a bit more of what's going on the inside, then I don't think any of us should really be trusting Tron and Justin Sun. And there's plenty of other reasons not to trust them. All the misrepresentations, all the build-up hype that turns out to be nothing, all the accusations that they haven't properly responded to, like the one that they plagiarized their white paper. If you remember, that other employee who left, who allegedly confronted Justin Sun with that, and instead of giving him a proper response, Justin Sun just said, "We as a board have decided that this is not an issue," or something like that. That's the most dishonest, evasory response, where you're just pretty much admitting to lying because it's more convenient for you to lie. That is not a company and a cryptocurrency project that I can personally trust. Which is not to say that I don't think that Tron is currently a good investment to make. I think Tron has such a strong supporter base that it will almost certainly go up in value in the near and mid-term. I just think it's very questionable what the long-term future for Tron looks like, and if we should be trusting Justin Sun and Tron. Continuing with some more negative news, but I feel this is important to talk about because this is the reality in this extended bear market. Yet another blockchain project is laying off a lot of staff. The company behind the Nebulous blockchain project has gone from a team of 80 people to just 30, CoinDesk has learned. After gaining attention in August for its decision to delay its token distribution, including holding onto founder tokens for a period of 10 years, the company has undergone a series of layoffs that have seen peripheral elements of its roadmap shelved, at least pending a recovery in the market for Nebulous's NAS token. One of the reasons was the market price kept going down, Becky Liu, a spokesperson for the company, told CoinDesk. NAS, meant to power a protocol that is itself seeking to measure and score other blockchains, debuted at $2 but is currently selling for a little more than a quarter of that price. Once a top 100 cryptocurrency, the market cap of the NAS token is currently $25.7 million. Liu said the layoffs at the company began last summer, impacting its largely Beijing-based team. The company, she said, also wanted to tighten its strategic focus. Another reason we decided to cut off the unimportant projects like third-party wallets was that they are not core to the main tech visions mentioned in the Nebulous white paper, so the dev team of that project was first impacted. This is pretty much just marketing speak for we cut the people who were least essential, but this was obviously not their long-term plan, this is only what they were forced to do. The news is the latest that hints at the extent to which a downturn in the broader cryptocurrency market is hurting companies in the blockchain industry. Following layoffs at Consensus, Bitmain, Shapeshift and BlockX. That said, the cutbacks at Nebulas, with more than 60% of staff being shown the door, have been some of the most dramatic reported yet. I have said it before, we will see more of this as long as this downturn continues. This is ultimately because a lot of these companies were not well managed. A lot of these were founded by young people who came into a lot of money through being involved in the crypto space, who have never run a company before, who never had these kinds of responsibilities before, who have never had to come up with a business plan and really plot out the future in a meaningful way. Now, I'm not sure if Nebulas is also one of these examples, but what we can see throughout much of this is that a lot of these have been mismanaged. A lot of these have underestimated the future value of cryptocurrencies. They seem to have not considered the possibility of an extended bear market, which of course is a massive, massive error of judgment. Every bull run has been followed by an extensive bear market, every single one of them. And this one is actually not as bad, at least at this point, has not been as bad as some of the previous ones. So the fact that all these companies are having massive layoffs, are not turning a profit, are getting into serious troubles because the prices are going down, this was predictable. How bad were you at running your business? But there's no point really in focusing on that part now, because what is done is done. My point here is just we can't ignore that this is happening. We can't ignore that the crypto ecosystem is being hurt by this in some meaningful ways. Some pretty large companies laying off staff. And we get news of this every couple of days, so this is not an isolated incident. I do think we are going to see the markets turn around in the near future, most likely. And with that, all of these companies will be out of their problems. But you have to keep in mind, if they are being run so badly now, what will happen in the next bear market? Because we are going to hit another bull run, but after that, we are also going to hit another crash. That is how it always happens. That is how it will continue happening, at least in the near future. It's very worrying to see so many companies in the blockchain and crypto space apparently being run so badly. But for the rest of this video, let's talk about some companies that are being run so much more efficiently from what it looks like, and that might actually positively impact the crypto space in the future. Now, Bakkt, of course, we're still waiting for it to launch because partly due to the government shutdown in the US right now, they cannot get the approval they require at this current moment. That is essentially all they're waiting for. They're waiting for formal approval. But while they are waiting, they are really kicking into high gear, and I want to highlight that. Ahead of its hotly anticipated launch, Bitcoin futures exchange Bakkt has launched a hiring campaign. 8 new job postings were published Tuesday on the company's website. Bakkt is looking for several experienced software developers, including mobile and blockchain developers, an institutional sales manager with experience in North America or Asia, and 3 higher-level positions including a director of finance, director of security engineering, and director for blockchain engineering. So you can tell some of these are really high, high pay-grade positions that they're looking to fill right now. An institutional-grade regulated exchange for crypto derivatives founded by the Intercontinental Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange's parent company, Bakkt was expected to go live on December 12 last year, but the launch was postponed twice. It was initially delayed until January 24th, with the company citing a need for additional time for customer and clearing member onboarding. It is now delayed indefinitely while the exchange waits for the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, to grant an exemption for Bakkt's plan to custody Bitcoin on behalf of its clients. The ongoing government shutdown has contributed to the delay. The CFTC needs at least 30 days for public comment period, plus however much time may be needed to review the comments and make a decision once this period concludes. It is unclear when this comment period may begin. However, Bakkt's team hasn't been sitting idly by waiting for the green light. It closed a $182.5 million funding round and acquired certain assets belonging to Rosenthal Collins Group, an independent futures commission merchant, earlier this month. See how much they're doing here? They just raised almost $200 million in funding, and they did some acquisitions earlier this month while they're waiting for the governmental approval to actually launch. And this is why I have so much faith in Bakkt having a real impact in the crypto world, because you can see so much activity here, you can see so much trust in them, because these nearly $200 million, they're not coming from nowhere. They're coming from VC firms, they are coming from fintech firms, they are coming from traditional finance. They are coming from millionaires and billionaires who have a lot of faith in the future of the crypto market and who think Bakkt will make a lot of money. Because they're obviously all expecting to get a return on that investment. So this is the kind of stuff that you should be looking at when you're trying to assess the mid and long-term future of the crypto market. All of these people in traditional finance, all of these people in the financial elites, they wouldn't be spending hundreds of millions invested in these projects all the time. We get news like this all the time. They wouldn't be spending all this money if they weren't absolutely convinced and if they weren't going to make sure that the future for crypto is incredibly bright. And that is essentially just why I wanted to read this article, because we're seeing a lot of movement here from Bakkt, and once Bakkt launches, that could have very significant impacts on the crypto space. And last but not least, we have yet another new crypto exchange going live, and this one will use technology from London's stock exchange. The London Stock Exchange is providing the trade matching technology for an upcoming cryptocurrency exchange in Hong Kong. The LSE Group announced Tuesday that its Millennium Exchange matching engine has been chosen to power AAX, a new exchange platform being launched by Hong Kong-based fintech firm Atom Group. AAX is scheduled to be launched in the first half of this year and will be the first crypto exchange to use the matching engine product. According to a separate statement from the Atom Group on Tuesday, the LSE Group also provides tech solutions to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and Singapore Exchange. Atom Group CEO Peter Lin said that Millennium Exchange will help AXA build a platform that ensures safe, trusted and secure trading for both retail and institutional investors. It will also enable AAX to provide a scalable and compliant crypto trading platform, the firm said. Wait, is it AXA or AAX? AAX, they just got it wrong here. For security solutions to protect the upcoming exchange, Atom Group said it will partner with the US-based cybersecurity firm Kroll. Crypto trading platforms are increasingly looking to secure their infrastructure from traditional stock exchange companies. Last April, crypto exchange Gemini partnered with Nasdaq to use its smart market surveillance technology to automatically detect any possible price manipulation or other illicit activities. Recently launched tokenized shares trading platform DX Exchange also harnesses a matching engine product from Nasdaq. Conversely, the LSE has been looking at blockchain tech for some time, although unlike some stock exchanges like the ASX, it has not moved to adopt the tech so far. Why is this important? Well, first of all, this is yet another new exchange being started, which once again means a lot of funding coming into the crypto market, means a lot of people very faithful in the future of the crypto markets. But the interesting part here is really that they're using tech from traditional finance, from traditional exchanges. We are seeing this happening more and more. This, of course, lends legitimacy and perceived safety to these exchanges. And this is a big step towards making institutional investors feel more safe putting their money into crypto. And that is ultimately what I believe we need for the future of crypto. I think the next bull run will be fueled almost entirely by institutional money. The first big push towards the next bull market will be coming from institutional money, and then we will see it further expand when a lot of retail investors FOMO in. But mostly I believe it will be institutional money, which is why platforms like Bakkt are so important, which is why these new exchanges using tech from traditional exchanges is so important. Anything that gives more legitimacy, that makes institutional investors feel more secure in using these platforms, is ultimately extremely good for the crypto market and will provide the foundation for the prices to explode in the future. And on this hopeful note, I want to end today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. The links to all these articles are of course in the description if you want to read all of them yourself. In the description you will also find links to my Facebook and Twitter pages if you want to follow there, as well as some ways to support the channel if you enjoy my content, if it brings value to your life. If you don't want to or can't send me any money, I would really appreciate if you could just leave a like, leave a comment, and share my videos with your friends. In this bear market, it's also very hard for crypto YouTubers to get noticed and to grow, so any little thing is very highly appreciated. Thanks for watching.